Welcome to our Community Safety and Security Protecting Our Youth Summer Safety Live Q&A Forum with Area 3 Police and community partners. Our goal this evening is to share with you essential summer safety tips and highlight some of the amazing youth programs in Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth. This particular forum, the Community Safety and Security Forum, is on the second Thursday of each month in partnership with the Area 3 Police, which consists of Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, thanks to the generous support of National Self-Serve Wholesale in Maypen, Clarendon. If you're new to this space, I am Winsome, and I'll be your navigator for the forum. And let me pause at this moment to say a huge thank you to our 1,000 amazing subscribers on the Serenity Resource Connectors YouTube channel. If you haven't joined us yet, be sure to subscribe to be part of our growing community and never miss out on our latest resources and updates. We go live each Thursday at 8 p.m. So let's meet our panelists. All right, let's bring them on. All right, we have coming up with us, let's get in Inspector Angella Williams joining us from over there in St. Elizabeth. Welcome, Inspector Williams.
Thanks, Winsome. Good evening, everyone.
All right. Or should I say welcome back?
Thank you.
All right. DSP Owen Brown, Clarendon Division Territorial Officer for Clarendon. Welcome back, Sir Brown. You're muted.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Witter. The pleasure is mine. My favorite program.
Awesome. Thank you. And we have Detective Constable Sandrene Stewart-Lewis from the Cool Hills of Manchester. Welcome, Detective Constable.
Thank you for having me, ma'am.
Pleasure. Custos Garfield Green from Manchester. Welcome, Custos Green.
Thank you, Ms. Witter. I'm happy to be here. Good evening, everyone.
All right. We have Baldvin McKenzie, Parish Manager, SDC Clarendon. Welcome back, Sir Mac. It's been a long time.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And rounding out the panel, we have Courtney Berry from the Ministry of Education and Youth Region 7. And we're getting a feedback from somewhere. All right, so let's get the backgrounds quiet. Thank you so much. All right, so we have quite a bit to go through this evening, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers are here because they want to hear how we're going to keep the children safe during the summer. The summer school break is upon us, and so we're going to start off there. So DSP Owen Brown, we're going to share with us some tips now on how we can keep the children safe while they have fun during the summer. Go right ahead, DSP Brown.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Witter. Good evening, everyone, all the panelists, and of course, the members of the Clarendon Division. Let me bring you greetings on behalf of Team Clarendon. As some of you would be aware that we now have a new commander in the person of acting SSP Shane McCullough. Our previous commander, acting SSP Russell, has been transferred to the Area 1 Division, and so Mr. McCullough is with us now. So I bring you greetings on his behalf, and of course on behalf of the management team and all the members of the Clarendon Police Division. It's our pleasure to be on and to, of course, share with you some very important tips. Our students, we know that they'll be on their summer break rather soon. Our statistics have shown that during this time, a number of our students have gotten themselves in trouble. Some have been abused in different ways. And so we want to use this opportunity to help our children to maintain their safety. Of course, there are some things that they will need to do. And as such, we want to share with you. So we talk about safety. We want to start with the home. What are some of the things in the home that can cause danger to our children? Of course, our parents sometimes are out at work. busy and children are left with maybe an older sibling, with responsibility for the younger ones. And knowing children, they have the tendency to want to experiment. One of the first places they go is to the kitchen, and that's where the stove, the gas stove, the electrical stove is. We've had many instances where our children have gotten hurt, have gotten burned. Sometimes the entire property has been destroyed. Sometimes they have been seriously or fatally injured. So we want our children to be very careful, especially when you're around the stove. So parents, we're asking you kindly, if the children is old enough and if the children are old enough and are responsible enough to be around the gas stove, then we want you to ensure that the necessary care is given, especially when there's a pot of hot oil. Our children love to fry stuff, whether it's egg, chicken, whatever it is. They want to have something to eat, but ensure that when they go around the gas stove, that all the safety is taken care of. So, the devices that they use too, the devices that they use can result in some accidents, especially if these are electrical devices. So we want to ask that the outlet to the device, that there are no loose ends where children can be injured from an electric shock. That is very important. As much as it is that it may be seen as a luxury, but there are some homes that are equipped with pools. This we want to ensure that it's properly secured, so our children do not have access to a swimming pool unless there is a trained person there to assist them. Then children should have no access to pool. In some cases, it's in the bathroom that they fill the tub with water, and the children will go in there to play. But they can have an accident where there's a simple slide and the child ends up being hurt. So whatever it is that they're doing, especially those underage, they must be monitored, must not be left alone to just do things on their own. In our parish, probably about 5 years ago, there's a 5-year-old that was playing in the community, and in the day, the child went missing. Until this day, we have not found that child. So the children must be monitored. If it is an older sibling that is there or an adult, but some designated responsible person must be there to ensure that the children are safe. I'm rushing it because I do understand the need for time. The use of technology, of course, our phones, our laptops, or iPads, whatever it is that we use, and we use it to access the internet. This is where a number of our children have gotten themselves in trouble, because they have linked up with persons who really mean them no good. And we have examples of persons who were lured into a dangerous situation, and some of what we have even lost children by virtue of these so-called friends that they have met on internet. So parents, again, we are talking to you. Ensure that you monitor the device, who it is that these children are talking to, and who it is that they are being friendly with, and that they understand the dangers that are out there. Children do shopping too, Mrs. Witter. So in some cases, they are given the credit card, the debit card to go use, and in some cases, they have gotten cash. But we're talking about the older ones now are able to go. If it is that your child has to go purchase something, then you want to monitor where it is that they'll be going, limit the amount of cash that you will give to them. And if they have to use your cards, please ensure that they understand the importance of safety, of protecting their privacy. Because there are persons out there who will want to steal that, and before you know it, everybody is all up into your account and everything is gone. How did it happen? Because I didn't monitor my child. I gave him my credit card or my debit card, and all of a sudden somebody gets the information to it and lost my funds. In the streets, they have to be careful too. We talk about the home, we talk about the use of devices. So we want to talk about the streets because we are losing our children to traffic accidents. We are losing our children to persons who kidnap them. So if they have to use public transportation, then make sure that those that they are using are those that are known to them. So the taxi man, make sure so you know the taxi man. The buses are the regular ones. You know the route that they ply, and so you are not in a position where you could very well be lured away. It's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that we take our safety in hand. Of course, the police will be out there in their numbers if, just in case, a child comes upon difficulty, then the first person, once you see a police officer, then feel free to speak to that officer, and they will help to guide you the way how. Wearing of jewelry, we must talk about that because sad to say, Mrs. Witter, but in some of our towns, wearing of jewelry is like machine card, ATM. The money card, because you get cash with it as fast as you can think. So we encourage parents that you not, we love our children and we want to gift them, but be careful of the gifts that you give to them because you could very well be setting them up for hurt or some form of danger. So if they have to wear jewelry, ensure that it is properly disguised and that it's not flaunt in the town spaces where others are seeing them and where they can attract the wrong persons. The same thing with the smart devices, your smartphone. People will want to deprive you of that. So you make sure that you keep it in a safe place where it's out of the eyes of the public. Of course, we're hoping that these few tips will help to make our children safer this summer. And finally, I want to just run back to the home, Mrs. Witter. This is where we've had some challenges too. The children are sitting in, and other children come over, and they have the tendency to want to experiment. And some of our children end up, not being able to go back to school September. Some are pregnant, some have contracted some viruses and such the like. There are adults too who will prey on our children, not just our girls, but also our boys. So we must tell them, you're at home. It's okay to close your doors. It's okay not to allow anybody inside the house. And if anybody has to come in, make sure that mommy and daddy or the adult that is there is aware of the person. Don't just slip out either and go next door because we're not certain who is next door. It's unfortunate that even the neighbor, if you don't know the neighbor well, that you have to guard your children because the neighbor could be someone who may be on our radar as one of those violence producers, and your child may just get into that space and the child is hurt. So what they do in the house, what they do in the community, wherever they go, must be monitored so that at the end of the day, they can enjoy their summer. We want them to enjoy themselves, but there must be some amount of monitoring that happens. There must be a responsible adult that is there to help to guide and to protect our children.
All right. Not to worry. It's a lot, and you might not remember. The recording will remain on YouTube, Facebook, or X, whichever platform you're joining us on. But if you prefer to read, be sure to go over to the Serenity Resource Connector website and subscribe so you can get the blog outlining all these tips and more that will be shared here. So let's go on over to St. Elizabeth, Inspector Williams. what's going on over there in St. Elizabeth as it relates to community safety measures to safeguard our children during this summer?
Good evening again, and thanks for having me. There are several things being put in place as it relates to the safety of our children. Even before the closure of school, we would have gone into the schools and speak with the children as it relates to safety at home, on the road, or elsewhere. And for sure, there are some events that will have some of the children being involved. And of course, they want parents, when the children are getting involved, to also be a part of what their children is doing. So there'll be a few community activities already started in the St. Elizabeth division. On the 9th of June, the police played a match with a team over in Vineyard. They had a football match, which was sponsored by our superintendent and team for the division. And it's in an effort to build relationship within that particular community where there are some challenges, where the police are trying to get some peace restored as best as possible. So that being the 9th of June, on the 10th, Superintendent Minto and team returned to make presentation of cash and footballs to the team. And come the 6th of August, in the said community, we will be having a fun day, and it will be in collaboration with the police and the community, where the young, the very young, the old, not so old, and everybody will participate in a fun day. We will be having different age groups participating in various events. And for sure, the police will be part of the sponsorship and to get persons involved as best as possible. Further on, the Leeds Police Youth Club will start their football competition the 23rd of June up in the Leeds community. And at the end of the tournament, they'll be doing a back-to-school treat. So for the finals, the back-to-school treat will be done. And of course, the Community Safety and Security branch of the St. Elizabeth Division will be making sponsorship of a trophy to the most disciplined team. And these events will be taking in a lot of our youths, not necessarily from under the police youth clubs, but other youth groups across the division. So we'll be having a lot of our young people getting involved. And we not only bring them there for the match, the police will be there to interact with them, to speak with them on safety, and guide them as best as is possible. Over in Silo, the Police Youth Club have started their football competition since the 2nd of June. It runs for the rest of the month, and it has taken several of teams. Again, we're speaking of youths, not necessarily part of the Police Youth Club movement, who are part of these activities, getting themselves involved, interacting with other youths, and of course, most of all as well, in upgrading or improving on their discipline. Because whatever game you play, for sure, discipline is important to keep the game going. What we have also planned is the Yardley Chase Neighborhood Watch, doing back to school treat. And of course, the Community Safety and Security branch will be making their contribution towards that, as also be a part and supporting that venture. We'll be there to interact with the youths. We'll be there to make presentation and to just have fun and to help to keep the youth safe. As also yearly, the SDC, that's the Social Development Commission, has their day camp and fun day, and the police, of course, plays a very important role. We're always there supporting as also interacting with our young people. And there are some schools having the summer classes. We go in, we speak with the children. Some of the churches having their camp for the children. The police goes in and we speak with them as well on safety. Not only that, it don't necessarily have to be in a formal setting, but even though school will be on holiday, we will be in the communities, we will be on the corners, talking, interacting with our children, speaking to the parents, and ensure that we help to make their holiday incident-free, crime-free, as also worry-free. Because as we know, normally when school is on, parents would maybe leave work, pick up the children, then the children would be home by themselves for less time until the parents gets home. Now, with that school out, you'll find that they need for more supervision of the children. So we encourage our parents to be careful, know who you're leaving your children with, and please remind the children not to let anyone come at home to say, "Mommy, send me to you." If for a reason anyone has to go to the home, we encourage parents to call the children and speak with them to let them know who to expect at home. If they're not expecting anyone and someone at the gate, they don't even need to respond. So we're encouraging the parents to be extra vigilant and let us all take care of our children and to ensure their safety so they'll enjoy their holiday and they'll get back out for the new school year in one piece as best as is possible. That's it for now, Mrs. Witter.
All right. A lot going on over there in St. Elizabeth. Love it. All right. Okay. So, Sir Brown, Romario Pusey, greeting you here. Greetings. All right. Romario was on the program some time ago. Cecilia is enjoying our favorite hangout. Happy you're enjoying. All right, we will get to your question in a little while, Romario. We're going to take that. All right, Learn, Grow, Invest. Thank you for tuning in. I thought you were on a live elsewhere. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so let's go on over there to Manchester. Detective Constable Sandrene Stewart-Lewis going to talk to us about the National Youth Club Summer Camp. I saw where the Police Youth Club summer camp has been around for a long time. Is it the same summer camp that is referred to as a National Youth Club summer camp?
That is correct, Ms. Witter. It is.
All right. So tell us about it. Tell us about the program and who can be involved and how.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so this summer camp is held yearly, right, at a place to be announced. So we're not in receipt of where it will be kept this year, but it's a yearly event and it is open only to Police Youth Club members, right? It is one that builds holistic development of our young people. It builds them spiritually, emotionally, and help them in growing. And we are partnered with the Hartrust NSCA, who comes in and help them to have a skill or certificate. So it builds them in different ways, right? So this thing also promotes the relationship between the police and our youth. It provides training, right, in the field of sports, art and craft, drama, as well as educational development. It is to build their mental and physical and the spiritual aspects of our members. so that they can grow to their full potential and to be good citizens of Jamaica. And also to cooperate whenever possible with our organization and to foster development of youth all round. And that is what the Police Youth Club is about mainly, to promote the and make youth aware to, so we promote the relationship between our police officers and our young people, because they know that they tend to go astray when they're in the wrong company. And so the Police Youth Club helps to guide them. And once they have something to do, then to occupy their time, then we know that this one, at least we have taken this one off the street and we're helping to build a better Jamaica, as our motto says.
Indeed. All right. Romario have some suggestions as always in the comments over there. All right. Any success stories from any of the divisions coming out of the PYC camp? Any from Clarendon, Sir Brown?
Of course. So the Clarendon Police participate in the Police Youth Club week of activities. This started with a church service, and then we had a youth forum. This was held in Kingston. It's at the Jamaica Conference Center, where a number of our Police Youth Club members attended. They were given, there were persons there who made great impact on them, and so they have returned with a renewed effort to continue the movement. They also made courtesy calls, and let me just read what I write here. And they had also a national fun day. So those are some of the activities that the Clarendon Police Youth Club participated in. Although they were national events, but our clubites were very much a part of them. And we're looking forward to Youth Camp that comes up in August. This is a national one again, where the members of the team will be a part of.
Fantastic. All right. Let's bring in this question from Sir Pusey. Any summer job opportunities for the youth in police stations across the divisions? There could be an initiative where for the 3 or so months that they may have, the force could do an initiative too. There's a part that's missing, Sir Pusey.
I know where he's driving at.
Yes.
We usually do, some of the businesses usually write to us, ask us to send them to be a part of their organization. Once we get these invitations, of course, our Police Youth Club members will be the first to benefit from these opportunities.
All right, fantastic. And we'd love to dish out flowers in this space. So Siobhan Reed, this looks like Siobhan from Clarendon. Inspector A. Williams, blessings to you, ma'am. Always a breath of fresh air, always guiding your Judas. Go Area 3. And this is a different Siobhan. And respect to DSP Brown, one of my favorite Christian cops. All right. All right. So we started some time ago in this space where we highlight the partnerships, collaboration, because the police cannot do it alone. And they have a lot of partnerships going. And so coming out of Manchester Division decided to highlight the BVA initiative, that is the Beliefs, Values and Attitudes program over there that's been led by Custos Garfield Green. Just to lead into that, Detective Constable Sandrene Stewart-Lewis, tell us why this particular collaboration is being highlighted at this time.
Okay, all right. So, in collaboration with Custos, building values, beliefs, and attitude, we're building moral values of our youth. And it is to foster integrity in our youth and to mitigate violence in our school. And being in partnership with this program, as officers, it helps to control our youth and to guide them on a positive pathway, right? So having this initiative, it helps to build their integrity, their beliefs, and things such as that.
All right, let's bring on Custos Green. Welcome again, Custos Green. Thank you for waiting patiently for us to get into this aspect of the program where we highlight the partnerships that's going on. So tell us a little more about the BVA program. It's significant. Who are the other partners? How many schools are currently on the program? Things of that nature, so we can have a better appreciation for what it is that you are leading there as Custos in Manchester.
All right, thank you very much. Just a little background on the BVA, how it started. It started out of concern for some of the social ills in society, the high levels of violence and crime that we have to deal with. The police have the challenge and made all citizens who are victims of the indiscipline in society. So we came up with an initiative to address this, to see how we could facilitate what we call attitudinal change and social revitalization while fostering patriotism and social responsibility among our people. However, we have a focus on youth. Yes, many of us have already gone through the gate, but we're targeting the youth to see if we can curb some of them behaviors and help them to become better citizens in society. Because we are working with the youth, we have partnered with the Ministry of Education and Youth, which allows us greater access to students in schools. One of the things that we have realized is that, or what we believe, is that the home should be the first school for all young people, and their parents should be their first teacher. But we have realized that many parents do not teach the values that are upheld by society. And then that put further burden on the police and the teachers in school. But also, they put burdens on the health sector as well. Because when people live carelessly, they end up injuring themselves in hospital or they injure others and cause them to receive medical care. So it is strongly believed that if our people had a greater sense of patriotism and self-respect and a sense of social responsibility, a lot of the issues we have in society, we wouldn't have them. We really wouldn't have them. And the vision for a better Jamaica lies within regaining our lost basic values and attitudes. And in so doing, we must inculcate the norms and values of love, respect for self, and of course for others and country. We are in our schools, we have our programs. One of them is called Patriotism in Schools, where we remind our students of our national anthem, or national pledge, or national school songs, the protocols surrounding the national anthem and our national flags. Last year and the year before, we had ceremonial reopening of schools where the national flag was raised while the national anthem was being played, because this is part of the operations of schools. At the beginning of every term, schools are supposed to have a flag raising ceremony. And at the end of school term, they're supposed to have a flag lowering ceremony. But it's not happening in many cases, right? We want to get back to those values. We really want to do that. So we have to work with the police, we're working with our educators. The burden that is put on the educators, they can't do it alone. They really can't. They the educators are there to teach academics, but they have to fill in the gaps by teaching some values and attitudes. So the community now has to help the educators in the schools. And this is what part of the responsibility of the BVA. How can we help the teachers in the schools to inculcate positive values and attitudes in the students there? We launched in May the Peace Ambassador program in schools, where the schools select a minimum of 10 students will serve as sentinels of the peace. They are trained to identify unpleasant behavior. They are trained to mitigate, to intervene in situations, unpleasant situations, right? They are exposed to special training that will allow them to communicate effectively, yes, to dispel tensions among their peers, right? We did a pilot last year and we got back very good report from the school administrators since the program was commissioned in their schools. We also have a group of Just of the Peace. We have identified a school. It came to my attention where some students were behaving badly. And it was very shocking to know that these are young children. Young meaning they may be up to age 10. Right? And we have mentors who are now in that school working with some students that are there. They were identified by the school administrators, and we have now instituted a mentorship program in the schools, and this is all about trying to get students to love themselves, to respect themselves, to behave better, right? Behave in ways which will benefit individuals and the society in a whole. That's what we want. We don't want to leave them to the police and in some cases, they might end up getting shot by the police. They might get arrested by the police. Yes, we don't want them to live carelessly, where they end up putting burden on the health sector. Yes, we don't want that. We want people to become productive citizens of the society where they can help to build the society. Too many times we hear people saying what the politicians can do, the politicians' responsibility. It is not their responsibility. It is our responsibility, yes, as citizens to build our nation. And unless we own that, we are not going to go anywhere. And we are starting from early to get our people, and may I say our children, our youth, to be loyal to Jamaica. To be loyal. But when you're loyal to the country, everyone benefits from it. Every single one of us benefits from it. Right? So we really want to impact on them, to have a sense of pride, a sense of self-assurance, yes, and see themselves as meaningful to society. The program is doing very well. We're in our second year. This year is we celebrate our anniversary in November of each year. It was launched in 2021 by Mr. Bruce Golden, the former Prime Minister of Jamaica. And since then, we have been doing pretty well. When I see parents reaching out to me, commending me because their children come home and talk about some of the things that they learned through this initiative, that's heartwarming. Yes. Several times parents have reached out to my office thanking us for the program. So we know it is creating an impact. We know it is having change out there, making changes out there, right? But we have to be committed. If we are not committed to it, it doesn't make sense, right? Because we must remain committed. People are now looking forward to seeing it, and we're in it for the long haul. There are times when we will call on the police to go out with us. For example, they have prominent persons who go to schools with us to have talks with the students, like judges of the parish. They go with us. We have senior police officers who visit the schools with us to have discussions with the students as well, right? We want them to know the people, the leaders of this parish. We want them to interact with them. We want them to see them and respect them. They must not know the police by only when they get involved with the law. We don't want them to know the judges only when they end up in court. Yes, we want them to know the judges. We want them to love them, respect them. Right? So we're working in many different ways to get our children to feel accepted, embrace them, and to let them feel valued.
So important, because that's a big part of the equation there that we seem to miss. That sense of belonging is what they're searching for. All right.
Yeah, and you're very correct, because sometimes people do get involved in the wrong things because they are searching. They are
That's it.
misguided. There's a saying that it takes a village to grow a child.
Right.
And I hear people complaining that it is no longer so. It is very much happening because in the village we have good and bad people. But what we're allowing is that the bad people in the village to have greater influence on the children. Yes, we have the gangsters who are recruiting these children. And may I say, our parents must take responsibility. I listen to PSP Brown, and a lot of our children's safety and security lies with the parents.
That's true.
And we have failed them along the way. And if we don't create the environment for them to grow in, a conducive environment, then they're left to the mercies of just anyone that comes along.
That is not good. Greetings, young Audacity. He's reminding us that devotions need to be in school. Lady Kane, thank you for tuning in. Good to have you. All right. And just in case we missed this one from earlier, Sandra White, greeting you, Detective Lewis. She's loving the summer camp as well. The fact that certification after the week of camp, their certification, this is very commendable. I missed that part. So there's actually certification that's awarded after the camp. All right, beautiful. We'll be sure to capture that in the blog just in case anyone else missed it. Thank you so much for chiming in. Custos and team, keep up the commendable work that you're doing over there in Manchester. What age range do you start working with?
Sorry, when we launched the patriotism in schools, we launched it at an infant school, right? And that goes up to age 6. And at that school, we launched a uniform group, right? We're starting from early, and we go all the way up to tertiary level. And so we leave out no one. As long as they're in schools, we're reaching to them. They are in school learning maths and English, so they can learn some values and attitudes as well. They are learning to read and write at infant school. They can learn values and attitudes as well.
I mean, that's supposed to be the foundation.
Thank you.
That is what's going to actually help them otherwise. All right. Yes. So, right. And you mentioned importantly as it relates to behavior. And we are going to move over to Clarendon, where we have another initiative. Started last year. Okay, Young Audacity says he's joining us from Grand Cayman. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Grand Cayman Island in the house. Amazing. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so we are moving over to Clarendon, another behavioral summer camp. DSP Brown, that started last year, correct? That was the first year, the behavioral camp. Let's bring in Sir McKenzie. Are you with us, Sir Berry? Not seeing you on camera. All right, so while Sir Berry is joining us, Sir McKenzie, go ahead and share with us a little overview of the summer camp.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. As you're aware, that the SDC is the government agency responsible for community development. And when we speak of community development, we mean that we work with every sector in the community. And therefore, children become a part of our clientele. And we see where, over the years, we notice that there's increase in fights in schools, in the community, and at our interagency meeting. And I just want to pause here that we have one of the most vibrant interagency network in the parish, where all the agencies meet once per month, looking at ways how they can give support to each other and impact the lives of the people of the parish. So at our interagency meeting, we look at what can we do to address this problem. And coming out of the discussion, we realized that we need to interact with some of those students in the various schools. And this is where the Ministry of Education team joined with us. And so the guidance counselors and the Dean of Discipline, they identify some students who they're really having some challenges with. And we bring them into a 1-week behavioral change summer camp. And we look at various topics, such as who am I? And I want to tell you that topic there at the beginning of the camp, we could not believe the answer, the information we get from some of those students. Some of them were saying, I'm nobody. And you can imagine, and they tell you why they think they are nobody. Nobody respect, nobody listen to them. And that helped us to set the stage for the camp. And at the end of the day, when we finish the camp 1 week after, then some of those same students will come back to us and say, thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am, for the information you share. So last year we had it, and this year we continue with it. We are looking at 10 camps this year, spreading across 10 communities. And the target group, we are talking about students from 13 to up to 18. And we are now partnering with, and the Ministry of Education plays a big role in this one, along with the Clarendon Police Division, along with Victim Support, Restorative Justice, you name it, several agencies, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. We also have the National Parenting Commission on board, because having a camp with the student without the parents involved, then we are wasting time, because whatever we say to these children for behavioral change to take place, parents will have a role to play. And therefore, we invite the parents to a parenting session to look at their role, and some of the information we get from the student, we're able to share that in a professional way. Because, you know, it is sort of private and confidential. We couldn't share some of the information we get from the student, but where we could put a program together and we share it with the parents. Coming out of that, we have some parents now establish a network, a parenting network on WhatsApp, that they're having problem. They will call another parent to say, or in that WhatsApp group, we have some professionals also in social workers. And there are times when I can recall last year, I got a call about 11 p.m. The mother was having a challenge with his son who was at the camp. And she asked for us to speak to him because he was coming home. He went out and didn't return back until about 12 midnight. And he was attacking the parents. So the parents called us now to interact with him. And out of that interaction, we speak with the parents, and the parents realized the thing that the parents did was really motivating the child to behave the way the child was behaving. And when we explain all of that to the parents, right now the parents are saying to us, she's very happy that we share that information. She makes some adjustment, and now the two are living quite well. So our behavioral change is not just with the student, but also with the parents. And therefore, this year we are looking at 10 camps. We're having them, one in Freetown, one in Maple Central High. We're also looking at Thompson Town. We're looking at Clarendon College. We're looking at Claude McKay. We're also doing one at Kelly's High School, Milk River at the Resource Center, Bustamante High. And I think we're also doing one at Kimbebit. Community Center. So really, the behavioral change camp is all about partnership and networking. And without partnership, the SDC can't do it alone. No one agency cannot do it alone. And therefore, as it is said, it takes a village. I'm saying it takes a community to raise a child. And this is what we are now saying to our community groups, that they also have a role to play in giving support to our children. And some of these groups are setting up parenting children support group that they monitor what is happening with our children. If children is littering on the street, where some persons now is saying to children, you need to get home. So we're seeing some changes taking place in the parish, all because of the intervention of the interagency along with SDC in the parish looking at behavioral change.
Fantastic. And we have some strong community support here. JP Beverly Booth from over there in Milk River Zone. Always supportive. Another supportive JP, Sister Goldburn from up there in Shackleton. And she's referring to the program in Manchester, I suppose, here. Very important indeed. This kind of effort is to be replicated in every division. Endorsed. And Sir Pusey says that's a positive program, Mr. McKenzie. He also likes that networking among parents are a type of co-parenting strategy to make each person's life easier. Very important, because a lot of times all the parents need is that support system, because why a number of people don't move further than where they are is because of that lack of support. And this is what I'm hearing coming out of these different initiatives. Support, not just for the children, but for the parents, because the parents are really strapped, because nothing can prepare us for the demands of parenting these days. And with someone mentioned earlier in terms of social media, Young Audacity mentioned about social media having stuff there that's so derogatory that they're not hidden from students or children from as early as age 5 or younger, because it seems as if from they're born, they know how to manipulate those devices. So we have to be mindful of that and some of the tips that the SP Brown shared earlier in terms of helping to control that. Sir Berry, are you able to join us now to share? All right, let's hear from Sir Berry. How is the Ministry of Education supporting this summer behavioral change summer camp?
Good evening, everyone.
Evening, go right
Can you
ahead.
hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
So what we'll be doing, we'll be partnering with the Social Development Commission and other agencies to ensure that these camps are a success. What we will be asking the schools to select those students who are troubled or who have behavioral issues to participate in the camps at the different locations. Where they will be selected using the deans of discipline and the counselors, and also we'll be asking the principals to make their facilities available to ensure that the camps are to take place.
All right, so it's a lot of collaboration going on there, but SDC is the coordinating engine in this space. I'm sure that they get it all together so that the engine churns the way it ought to. All right, so just in case anyone missed it, so it's the schools that's going to be doing the selection. What if I am a parent or guardian and I want to ensure that my child gets to be a part of that summer camp? Can I go and talk to the Dean of Discipline at my school?
Sure, you can.
All right.
So the parent would reach out to the dean or the counselor to say, I have heard about this camp and I want my child to be a part of this camp, and then we'll take it from there.
Awesome. And I'd love to give out assignments, because this is a community. So I'm going to ask for those who are tuned in live, or you might be watching the replay, you're getting wind of this early enough, and you know of a parent that could use this kind of support that might not see this recording, please share with that parent so that they can be get the support that they need, because we are helping not just ourselves, but we are helping our communities in general. All right, so we are doing this because the police alone cannot do it. Custos Green mentioned earlier that the schools as well need support, Ministry of Education, and that is why all of these collaborations are going on, and we are highlighting them here in this space so that you have the resources at your fingertip. You share them with others so that they can all benefit to make Jamaica a better place, because our Governor General is right. There's nothing wrong with Jamaica that what's right with Jamaica cannot fix. And so that's what we're doing by sharing these resources with you. Commendations to the police in terms of these partnerships, collaborations that are being forged. The Ministry of Education, love what you're doing, recognizing that what worked before, not working now, and we have to go back to the drawing board. SDC, always the mobilizing engine in this space. Commendations to you all. If you have questions, if you're still with us live, you have questions, go ahead and ask them now. And while I thank you again for, it's been a long journey, but we are over the 1,000 subscriber mark. Now we need to get, yay. Now we need to get all this reservoir of information that we have there on YouTube in the hands, in front of the other citizens in the different spaces, because that's how we're going to make Jamaica better. And each of us have a responsibility to share so others can benefit from the information that's there. We have information on culture, information on safety and security, stories that were shared. We have Sir Pusey that's on with us that shared his inspiring story that took him overseas for study. Now he's finished with his studies and working. So another responsible Jamaican citizen right there. And that's what we want to do, to give our Jamaican citizens the opportunity to progress. All right. Yvonne Murphy is greeting us all the way from over there in Georgia. Welcome, Yvonne. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So we see it's a global space, and even for those in the diaspora, we include you as well. Share with your relatives and friends here in Jamaica so that we can all be a part of the change that we want to see. A lot of initiatives taking place. I mean, St. Elizabeth, and I know that Clarendon and Manchester have a lot of things going on, but where can we access additional information as to the different activities through St. Elizabeth? Inspector Williams, do you have a local resource center in St. Elizabeth?
You can call the Community Safety and Security Branch. I can share my number. We have 634-1231. That's the office number. You can also reach us at 388-3425. That's 876-388-3425 or 876-634-1231.
All right. Sir Brown?
Right, it's the same here in Clarendon, Mrs. Smith, where you can contact our office. It's 902-7988. That's the CSS office. Of course, our numbers are available too. Mine is 849-4747. You can know exactly what it is that we're doing in this space. Our community meetings too. We're out there in the space. You'll hear us when we do advertise community meetings for your space. We invite you to come out and be a part of these meetings.
All right. Detective Constable Stewart-Lewis, contact details for CSSB Manchester.
Okay, our contact number is 962-2250. That's 962-2250.
All right, amazing. Sir McKenzie, contact number for SDC Clarendon.
Well, for SDC, our landline not working here now, but you could get us at 876-817-5888. And for those persons who are coming to Kellis at the Kellis Investment Fair tomorrow at the Kellis Skills Training Center, definitely we will be there. So you come out and talk to us and other agencies.
All right. Sir Green, for those in Manchester or maybe over in St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, that wants to get more information or support in launching the BVA, what's the contact details for your office?
Well, the office contact numbers are 876-579-7112, or let me give you the landline. The landline is 876-627-3789. So that's 876-579-7112 or 876-627-3789.
Thank you. Sir Barry, go ahead and share. Region 7 contact details. Seem to have frozen just now.
Okay, we don't have a landline at the moment. My contact is 499-0760.
All right, thank you so much.
499-0760.
Awesome. So just in case you missed any of those, not to worry, we'll have a nice recap in the blog on Monday. So remember to go on over to www.serenityresourceconnector.com and subscribe so that you can receive the notification for the blog when it goes live on Monday, 6 a.m., God's willing. Little life lessons. Thank you so much. All right. Love the fact that we are making some impact in this space. Let me thank the Area 3 team. I give them a lot of work in pulling this together each month, but I thank you so much for taking the charge and supporting the mission as we help to strengthen community relations, because we're not going to find everyone on the corner in the communities. They're somewhere on the virtual corner, and we want to be able to access this information at their convenience, and that is what it is that we're creating here at the Serenity Resource Connector. Thank you again, Custos Green, for making the time to be here to share with us. And I'm sure that a lot of other parishes will be reaching out so that we can get the BVA in these different institutions to help to address some of those behavioral challenges. Sir McKenzie and team, Sir Barry is on having a little background. I think there's something going on with the connection, but we thank you both for sharing your reservoir of knowledge and that awesome program that you're putting on there. I love the collaboration that is taking place. Commendations again, as mentioned in the chat. And for those who were sharing with us, Learn, Grow, Invest, Cecilia in her favorite place to be on a Thursday evening. We have Sabrina, one of our SDC officers, and so many others. Sir Pusey joining us from the States, Georgia, Cayman Islands, Young Audacity. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for the many others who did not indicate, justices of the peace, educators, community leaders, youth leaders, thank you so much for tuning in. We do this every Thursday at 8 p.m. and you want to tune in. Next week is Community Corner. You never know which entity is going to be sharing in the space to inspire you in one way or the other. Thank you again and have a fantastic rest of the night.
You're most welcome, Miss Witter. Thanks for having me. It was my pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me as well.
Pleasure.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Same.